Welcome to another episode. Welcome to the third season of Inspired Voices. My name is Riera, and this is Ticarus Bunch.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming by. Appreciate you being on the first episode of season 3.
That's right.
I've always wanted to interview you. I've always kept you in mind because, I feel like you do a lot of different things.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell everyone what you do?
I am an actor, a writer, director, and acting and motivational speaker. So I'm a jack of all trades. I love theater as well. Theater is actually what started me in the acting thing. That's what gave me the acting bug, like a lot of people.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Feel free to move the mic around.
Okay.
Just make sure it's close to you.
Okay. Sweet.
That's cool, man. Have you always been into theater your whole life, or is it?
Yeah. When I was a kid, my mom, I was in a play in kindergarten.
Okay. Yeah. Same here.
Really?
Yeah.
And I had to play a king. So. My mom went above and beyond. She went to we had a place. I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina, and we went to a place called the Cloth Barn, and my mom had them to sew some gold around some bed sheets around it, and they tied it, and she told them what to do or what have you, and they had even when Burger King used to give the crowns, and so they kind of made me a crown and put the gold around it. She went all out.
Nice.
So. When it was time to do the play, when they presented me as the king, it was and as that child, I got the feedback from the parents, and it right then I was hooked.
Really,
I was
really
hooked. Yeah,
that young,
that young,
dude.
and I'm a Leo, so
same here.
We crave attention.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
so right then I knew okay, yeah, I can do this.
I remember my first when I was in kindergarten, I was in the school play, and I was so nervous, but I didn't have any lines or anything. I just had to go on stage, light the cannon, and walk out. And I was like, yeah. I was sweating
in front of all those people.
Yeah.
I just seized the moment. It was I looked good, so I felt good, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. So when I walked out, and I had on a white sheet and all this gold draped around me, and everybody, I could hear and I was like, okay, yeah, I like that.
Damn.
And yeah, so from there, I didn't do anything.
Well, you had that self-awareness at such a young age. So from then you knew you wanted to act.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I knew that I wanted people's attention.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I grew up in the Michael Jackson era, so back then I could dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was the kid that your parents call in the front room and say, "Hey, do the Michael Jackson."
Do you also have a bunch of tapes of you dancing to Michael Jackson, in front of the TV? And stuff like that?
Probably my parents do. Yeah. I hope they never suffers though.
Oh,
but
no, they're
probably I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
If it's in back then they had the real camcorders. So.
Right. Yeah. I transferred mine to digital. So it might be a possibility. It's out there.
Yeah, that would be
the rat tail.
Yeah, with the rat tail. Yeah, yeah.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Okay, gotcha. Right.
Yeah.
How was it growing up there?
Growing up in Goldsboro was cool. It's totally different than what it is today. When we grew up, I hate to sound old, but the whole village raised each child. So you can go down the street and you can do something wrong. The lady down the street is going to get you just like your parents would. And then she's going to tell your parents, and then your parents are going to get you also. You know what I mean? So, it was good.
So you had a community upbringing then?
A community upbringing, very sports heavy. Our football team, basketball team, drama department. As far as once I got to high school, was awesome. And then for me, I got back into theater because I had a great theater teacher. Yeah.
You got back into theater. So
from kindergarten.
From kindergarten. Oh,
to being a young adult. Okay. As far as in high school.
Gotcha. So you didn't really do any acting until you got to...
Right. Gotcha. The only acting I did was, hey, come here, do the Michael Jackson, or No, Mama, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. It was my sister. I didn't do that. I didn't break that.
Right.
You know?
What was the? So you craved the attention, right?
Correct.
So was that accepted in the family?
Yeah, I think my family always knew I was a bit different.
Okay.
My brother was he was very smart, very bright. He graduated from Duke University with his master's degree at Duke University. Very smart guy.
Yeah.
So in the end, he was into church heavy. My sister was married, and she was raising her family and doing her thing. And then you had me, that I was 13, close to 14 years apart from my sister and my brother. I was the baby.
Oh, damn.
I was the mistake baby.
Oh, shit. Same here.
Yeah, you were too?
Yeah, we got a lot in common, man.
Yeah,
like my mom had her tubes tied, and then she had me.
Oh, you really was the mistake baby. Yeah, man. So I was the mistake baby that my daddy wanted to be. You know, my daddy was very excited that they was having me.
Yeah.
And thank God that I'm here.
That's a big age gap between the siblings too.
It is.
Was that difficult for you?
Well, yeah, mainly because I would like to think that I was spoiled. I was spoiled. I was able to receive everything that they couldn't. Because by then, you know, my parents was making more money. They wasn't struggling, you know, as far as to raise all of us together. Because by then, my brother was in high school. When I was very small, my brother was in high school, going to college. My sister was in high school, about to graduate. And then here I am, you know, coming along, and they're out the house, and I'm in the house with my mom and dad by myself. So when we go to the store and I say, hey, I want that,
boom,
I got it. I grew up in the video game era when that came along, and the computer era when that came along, and the internet era. Damn, I'm getting old. When that came along, and, you know, all of that. So, and I was a good kid. I got, you know, decent grades, you know, and I didn't run the streets or do anything crazy.
Right. That's good, man. Damn.
Yeah.
You got lucky there.
Yeah, very lucky, very lucky.
Did your siblings ever resent you because of that?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I got at 16 years old, my mom and dad got me a brand new car. Right, I had a 1995 Jetta, and it was black on black tinted windows, and my mom and dad got me a cell phone mounted in the car. I'm thinking the cell phone is for me to stunt. The cell phone is for them to call me. Where are you? Come home.
Yeah.
You know? But at the time, my sister and brother, you know, they're like, he don't need all that. What he getting all that for? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was like hate. It was kind of like, really? Like, we never got any of that.
Yeah.
And to credit them, I think I would have been the exact same way. I know I would have been the exact same way.
Yeah, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they get all these, they see it. They see all these things, the big things. Right?
Yeah, the big things, yeah. I mean, they receive cars as well.
Okay.
You know, and what have you when they turned 16, but it wasn't brand new.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
I came out the box with a foreign, so.
Got lucky, man.
Yeah.
Tinted windows too?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Keeping a gangster over here.
Yeah, man.
So you got into acting. What made you get back into acting? When you were in high school?
When I went to the counselor and I was looking at what electives I could take, I saw, you know, drama up there, and I bubbled in theater, which was drama. I got to class, not to know what to expect, and my teacher was Mr. Daniel Rollins, which is now Dr. Daniel Rollins. Ooh. And he was everything in a bag of chips. Like, I did my first play called Flowers for Algernon, and I had a small little part, you know. Yeah. And when I did the little part, I was like, okay, let me do this. Like, and I did the part, and it came out real clean. And I received that same reaction, kind of, that I did when I was a kid, because my part was a little comedy, and I didn't realize that at the time, but it was just one line. Yeah. And boom, had the crowd laugh, and I was off. I was gone. I was like, ooh, I want more of that. Yeah. I remember that, you know.
Were you nervous when you The first time you did it?
Never nervous. I've never been nervous in front of large crowds or speaking in front of a lot of people. I don't know. It's just good. Never nervous. I heard comedians, I heard Steve Harvey and everybody, like, they get nervous. I don't get nervous. I think for me, I've already lived it in my head. I've already researched it in my head. I've already said this over and over again in my mind. So therefore, when I do it, I'm just acting out what I've already rehearsed.
Interesting.
You know?
That's interesting because, like, you know, when I was acting and stuff like that, I was acting for like 12 years before I got my first TV role.
Right.
And it's like all those years, that's what you wanted.
That's what you wanted.
That's what you wanted. You always saw it. You always saw it. And then it came and I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, I did get nervous one time.
Okay.
As far as when it came to that.
Yeah.
I'm on Black Mafia Family on Stars, BMF. And I'm the very first actor speaking on season 1.
Damn.
They pretty much start the whole BMF series with my face, right? With me and the older Meech, played by John Chafin, which is an outstanding actor and theater actor. So I'm sitting on the porch. If you go back and rewind this, you'll see it. I'm sitting on the porch, and the guy that I'm playing is a real guy. His name is Roland West. He's Big Meech's best friend from across the street. Excellent guy, right? So the night before, I was able to spend time with him to try to get his mannerisms down, to see how he speak, to see how he talk, to understand his lingo, the way that Detroit, the way that they sound when they speak. And I'm just studying. I'm like a sponge. Like, okay, I didn't have a lot of time with them, but I'm gonna make do with what I got because this whole series is starting out with me. So I'm sitting there, and Randy Huggins, which is the showrunner at the time, he was like, "Hey, you ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." So I told Roland, I said, "Roland," I said, "What were you doing?" Because this was an actual real scene that really happened. I said, "What were you doing?" He said, I was sitting on my steps smoking a blunt. So I'm sitting on the steps. They didn't have no blunt, no nothing. Like, you know, the older Misha was just going to come around the corner, and I was going to embrace him. I told him, I said, "Hey, man, give me that blunt out your pocket because I know you got a blunt because you smoke." He was like, "For real?" I was like, "What are they going to say? I'm up here playing you. Give me your blunt." I don't smoke, right? I have friends that smoke, you know. So I started thinking about one of my homeboys in Atlanta, BJ, and I was like, okay, I see him smoke. I know the way he holds his blunt. I know the way
the behaviors.
Yeah. I started channeling him a little bit in my head, like, okay, yeah, he holds his blunt like this. He blows it like this. He does that like that, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm BJ and I'm him right quick. So I got the blunt. I lit it up or whatever. Tasha Smith is the director, actress Tasha Smith, excellent woman, right? They yell action. In my head, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, okay, I gotta get this right. He come around the corner, I embrace him and whatnot. They yell cut. They like it. So then props, I give him the real blunt. Props come out with a fake blunt, and then and I'm like, damn, I was just starting to have fun. You know, and that was a little nervous because right then and there I realized, like, okay, wow, I'm doing something I've never done before on camera. They got the camera set up directly on me. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I can't freeze up on this situation. I gotta act this out. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was the only time I think I've ever really been nervous on camera. Right.
And it's like this whole thing, especially with TV shows. It's like they got a bunch of people running around, boom, go.
Right. You know, and then you hurry up and waiting. You're in your trailer and you're waiting, and then, hey, we're ready for you. And then you're like, okay, where I go? This your mark, blah blah blah. The blocking is this. Go. Yeah. It's like, dang,
you really have to like make sure you're centered at that point, right?
Right. Yeah. My wife says it all the time. She says actors and entertainers are a little bit touched. She said, because y'all have multiple personalities in your head, and then you're able to do that at a moment's notice. Yeah. Yeah. You know, she might got something there.
Yeah, I think so. Let me go back a little bit. When you were talking to the real person that you were playing the character for, What kind of, when you guys were like trying to get to know each other and you trying to, you know, get his mannerisms, behaviors, what was the conversation like? Is it just you asking him questions, or is it just hanging out?
Roland is he's a talker. So I'm a talker as well. I realized 100% off the back, I realized that we were a lot alike as far as he was a spoiled guy growing up with his parents. His parents always provided for him what he needed. He's a good friend, loyal friend. I'm a great friend, loyal friend to all of my friends. So the conversation was more so, you know, he was telling me about the things that him and Big Meech did growing up when they were kids, the thing that him and Big Meech did as far as being adults, and when Meech and Terry started making money. Yeah. He started talking to me about all that stuff. And the entire time while I'm listening to him, I'm just more so getting his dialect down and the way that he talks.
Interesting.
Because I have a very heavy and deep voice like my father.
Yeah.
When Roland kind of sounds like this, you know, he kind of, yeah, what's up, man? What's happening? You know, his voice is kind of like that. So I was like, okay, I only got X amount of hours with him. I got to really study him because I wanted to be true to form. This is all about Big Meech and Terry Flannery, and during that, you know, part of the story, Roland West as well, because I'm playing his character. So it's not about me at all. It's all about them and embodying that moment. Because for the writer to start the series off with Roland, and then for casting to choose me and production to choose me, I knew that I had to knock it out, because I don't know, most of us when we watch television, we know within the first 20 minutes if we're going to continue watching the series. Yeah. So I didn't want the audience of stars to turn on the TV and see a little bit of my performance and say, it's all right.
Yeah. It's like you're the make or break.
Right. I took that responsibility. I might be in it too deep to think that way, but I took that responsibility of. And at the same time, I have an image and a reputation to withhold in a family that I want to make proud. You know? Yeah. So it's like I got to do this. Like I have a small hometown who I feel like I want to, with all my work, inspire somebody else to take it to the next level, and that person take it to the next level. Right. Because where I come from, a lot of people don't get the chance to go to Hollywood or have the mindset to know that it's possible. Right. So I'm like, yo, I got this. I got this for my city. I got this for my family. And I got this for Roland and Big Meech and Terry Flannery. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
Nice, dude. So you had that awareness from the start, from before.
100%.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's take it back a little bit. All right,
let's go.
So you got your first play you did, that one-liner. Yeah. Boom, got hooked up again. Yeah. What was the
next
process?
Thing?
The next thing after that.
I my sophomore year, I did Fences.
No.
Okay.
So you were So you were just taking acting classes during high school.
Correct.
Nothing outside of it, right?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
So you did Fences. Fences is a big play.
Yeah, I did Fences as a sophomore. I played the role of Corey. Okay. The lead role was by my good friend Deshaun Rose, and you know, that was fun. That was it was more meat. You know, Mr. Rollins trusted me with more meat, so I had more dialogue, and the production was a lot bigger, because at Goldsboro High School at the time we had great departments. So they had actually built the set. They built the house.
Really?
They had the fence on stage.
Yeah.
And it gave, the audience the true feeling of, of what Fences was by August Wilson.
Right.
So
pull that mic in a little bit. Okay. Damn, dude. That's cool.
Yeah. So I did Fences my sophomore year. Then my junior year, I did Driving Miss Daisy. Now, that was a lot of dialogue. I still know the movie forwards and backwards to this day.
Was that like you were the lead or something? Or?
Yeah, I played Holt Coburn, Morgan Freeman.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was in Miss Daisy.
All right.
Yeah. So I played that role, and my friend Dorcas played Miss Daisy, and it was the three of us. It was me, Jeremy, this guy named Jeremy, and Dorcas. We played basically Miss Daisy, her son, and I was Morgan Freeman, and we did that play in front of the entire student body. Now, this is the first time. This was the very first time I had that big of an audience, and we did it in front of the entire student body.
No nerves?
No nerves.
There you go.
No nerves. It was kind of like, yes, this is my moment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They're gonna take me serious now.
Right.
Like,
how was the how did your peers take it this whole time of you acting during high school? Was it like you
well, I started out playing football.
Okay.
It came to a crossroads where it was continue playing football, do this school play.
I feel like that's got to be tougher for your peers to accept too, because that football crowd and the theater crowd.
It was, but I didn't pride myself as a excellent football player, because my cousin Montreal Coley was the end all be all when it came to. I played fullback, he played running back.
Okay.
He was the end all be all when it came to Goldsboro High School football.
Gotcha.
You know, still to this day he holds records there.
Damn.
So his father held records before him.
Oh shit.
So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, I love football. I love being around my guys as far as at practice or what have you. But it's something about this theater that got me and got me hooked.
Got you right here, right?
Got me right here. And it's like, it's a feeling that nobody else could understand but me.
Yeah, man. I feel like acting is like that for me as well. Like, that's why I always think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's got a very deep emotional attachment to yourself, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so when I made the decision to do the play and to not pursue ball anymore, of course my peers was like, for real? It's like, yeah, man, I'm finna go do this, blah blah blah. Like, shit. Y'all have fun at practice. I'm going to the stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even my coach at the time, the late great Coach James, he was like, hell, son, are you sure? He's like, you know, son. You know, he talked to my parents and what have you, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna do, like, I can't do both, coach. I can't only a certain amount of hours in a day.
Yeah. And it seems like you had the support of your parents too.
Yeah, well, I think it was more confusion, like, really? Like, because everybody knew I wanted to play ball. Like, I still love ball to this day. But, no, theater was it. Like, it was like, no, I think this is what I'm going to roll with. You know, with football, like, most kids like football, you're going to get the girls. You know, I already had the brand new car. The reputation.
Yeah.
But theater was a little bit different. Like, I grew up liking Denzel Washington, even to this day. Samuel Jackson is my favorite actor of all time, because he can go from motherfucker to what's in your wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that range is like ridiculous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I want to do this theater thing.
Did that seem like a big decision at the time?
It felt like a huge decision at the time.
It's like it's a life-changing thing.
It felt like a huge decision at the time.
Yeah.
Huge decision. I talked to like a couple of my friends, and it was kind of like, oh, like, you know, what should you do? And it's like, then I had one of my friends came to one of my dress rehearsals of theater, and sat in and watched, and then after you know the practice was over, it was like, yeah, you got that. Like, yeah, continue doing that. And it was like, okay, you validating me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because they was
Someone you
already
trusted
making
too.
waves. Yeah, someone I trusted as well. So it was like, yeah, dog, you got that. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. So so that's how that whole thing came about.
So then you did all that through high school, and then what was the next step for you?
The United States Army.
Ooh. Why?
My dad said, okay, after high school, and all parents I think should do this. He said, if you're not going to college, I'm gonna give you a year to show me something. Show me what you're gonna do. If you're not gonna do anything productive within that year, you go into the military. He said, I wish I would have went to the military. I wish I would have made that decision. I'm not gonna allow you to just get a job right out of high school and figure life out. You got to have something behind you so that you always got something to stand on. You can become a veteran, and you know, and have the benefits that comes with being a veteran.
Right. Did you wait a year?
I waited a year. I got a job at Franklin Bakery in Goldsboro, and I was like catching bread and working in the bakery, working around a lot of great guys, a lot of fun. We had a lot of freaking fun. Yeah. Wasted a lot of bread.
That's dangerous.
And you've never had good bread until you had bread fresh from the bakery. It was coming down the assembly line onto like a sandwich for lunch. Oh God, it's some good bread. Oh God. So
I just pictured you like drooling.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I did that year.
No theater or anything like that?
No theater or nothing. However, it always was in my head. You know, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was working with a guy at the time that was prior service. And me and him used to talk all the day, and he was telling me, yeah, you know, I was in whatever, you might want to consider it, la la la. I already knew my dad had this in the background. So one day I came home, the recruiter's in the living room. Like, hey, how y'all doing?
Without you knowing.
Yeah. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm like, oh man, today's the day, huh? One of my cousins, Henry Campbell, was finna go in the military as well. So they kind of like double teamed me. Hey man, sit down. I was like, oh God, you can do this, you can do that, do this. Military give you educational benefits and blah blah blah. You know, the whole military spiel. I'm like, man, I don't want to go. I'm making $9 an hour. I got the fresh FUBU shoes and the FUBU shirt. Yeah. I'm good. And like I can go to, like you know what I mean. Like I'm clean over here.
Yeah.
Walk the recruiter outside, because my parents, they have like, you can drive in the front yard or you can go in the backyard, which is the roads detached. So I couldn't see what the recruiter was driving. Went in the front yard. The recruiter's driving a drop top Mustang 5.0, clean as a whistle.
All right. I
said, hey man, that's your car? He knew he had me then. Yeah, it's my car. You can get a car like that too. And da-da-da-da. He came, I said, damn, he got me.
Yeah.
Took the ASVAB with one of my partners, the late Kurt Harper. We decided we can go into the military together.
That seems nervous. Seems like a nervous thing.
That's when I was nervous.
Yeah.
That's when I was nervous. Because I like I said, I was the baby. Here I am leaving my nest to become a man. Greatest decision I ever did in my life. End up meeting friends who that I'm lifelong friends with to this day. Got into basic training, did well, got in the regular Army, and realized it wasn't for me.
Well, what were you doing in the Army?
I was an artilleryman.
Oh, wow.
13 Bravo.
Damn.
King of battle.
That's what, frontline?
No, it's not frontline. That's 11 Bravo.
Okay.
We pretty much shot rounds from a Paladin tank from maybe 40, 50 miles away.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Shoot, move, communicate. We drop a bomb, boom, and we drop another bomb in the same spot, boom, we move again, drop another bomb, boom.
Damn,
and that's how that goes. So the enemy never knows, like, what the hell are they?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So that seems like up your alley. That seems like something you would do.
Yeah, it was interesting to start out with, because here I am, a young kid. I ended up getting stationed. First I was stationed in Oklahoma. I left Oklahoma and I was stationed in Korea. And while in Korea, like, it was cool. Like, I'm in a foreign land. I'm around all this stuff. I don't speak nothing. First time in a foreign land. First time away from the nest. I got to use calling cards to call home because things was just that way back then.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade it for nothing, because I met a lot of great people. I had... God always kept people around me. Like, I had Mr. Rollins, right? And he nurtured me in the theater way. Right. And I had Kim Prout, who was my platoon sergeant, and that was very, like dad kind of to me, because I was a young boy.
Yeah.
And then my section chief, who was like the biggest butthole in the world, but he means well. You know what I mean? So I had all these people breathing down my neck, and they were grooming me to be a man.
Were you aware of that?
Hell no. It was for me. It was like leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my boots shine, I'm pressed. Like, what? Like, you know, like, leave me alone. But my section chief he would ride you. Like, it would, but he would demand greatness. He was like, man, listen, at the time, I hated the guy. Now, like, it's like, when I do speak on him, it's a respect thing. It's like, you know what, man, you gave me what I needed, you know. So now I demand greatness from my nieces, my nephews, anyone. Like, I demand greatness because he instilled that in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the butthole that he was at the time, but he was doing his job. You know? But yeah, man.
Damn. All right. That's crazy, dude. So you said it wasn't for you, though, right?
No, the military was not for me.
Was that like a thing that you realized from the start? Like a basic training or something like that? Yeah.
I realized that it wasn't for me because I knew that it wasn't giving me what I really wanted, which was like the theater thing and the acting thing.
Something that like connects you emotionally.
Correct. So for me, like, I end up witnessing tragedy while I was in the military. And then I knew it wasn't for me. I knew I had to get the hell out of there. Yeah. And then I had my oldest brother passed away, the one that went to Duke University. He passed away. My mother was taking it hard. I knew that I needed to be closer.
Was that during the Army?
During the Army. I actually got the phone call one Saturday morning. I never will forget. And I was just me in my dorm room with my barracks with my roommate, and I just got the phone call, and it was the first time tragedy ever struck my intermediate household, like you know, with my parents. And it was like, you know, he had a heart attack. Boom, he's gone. You know? And my dad is like,
he was young too, right?
33 years old.
Wow.
And my dad is like, you know, a strong, you know, my dad is dad, you know, he's, you know, he ain't James Evans, but he's kind of like Bill Cosby and, you know, in between, you know. Yeah. So, you know, to hear my dad call me and he's crackling his voice, and I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, you know, and he tells me that my brother had passed. It's like, by then I had a certain hardness about me because the military had already trained me and conditioned me. But at the same time, it was like, what do I do with this feeling? You know, so I didn't become emotional at all until I flew, the military flew me home the very next day. I got home, you know, was able to do the funeral and what have you. I didn't really break down until I got back to Korea, because I was stationed in Korea at the time. And my unit was in the field. It was out in the woods, you know, somewhere. And it was in the middle of the night, and I got up, and I was doing something. I was standing on top of the tank, and I was doing something. It was dark. It was like, it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Then it hit me. My brother's no longer here.
Was it something that triggered you, or?
I don't know, dude. It was just like, I think in the whole time I was in awe, like seeing my brother in the casket, like all that. I was in awe. Rough, bro. I was in awe, like really, God, like. He's the preacher. Like, he was the pastor. Yeah. You know.
He was a good guy.
Great guy. Like, that was him. Very smart. I'm the misfit. Right. I'm the misfit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was a good kid, but compared to him, you know, it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was like, whoa, like, how did that happen? You know? So, yeah, it's kind of like I felt bad, like, wow, like that happened, you know. But I learned then too, life is short. You know, you got to love on people while you got them. Yeah. And you got to do right by people, so when it's your time to go, the maker understands that you're a good dude. Right. You know, so yeah. So
damn. And then it didn't hit you until you get back to Korea,
right?
Which is like the worst place to be at.
Exactly. And it gave me that.
You have no one around, no family around you.
Well,
right?
No blood family.
No blood family. Yeah.
But the guys that I had around me at the time,
they have your back.
100%.
Nice.
100%. Like, especially my roommate Johnson and my boy Brown, like. They had my back. Like it was a strong. That's when I realized, like, okay, this Army thing is real cool. Still not for me, because because I got some other things I need to go do. I got to get back. I got to get in front of somebody's camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was great to know that they got your back. The brotherhood of the military. You know,
that made where you were a little bit more easy to be around at the time.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And the eerie thing is, the night before my brother passed away, I called a lot of my family members. I called my sister and her husband. I called my parents. I called one of my aunts. You know, I don't know. I just called everybody. And I thought about my brother, and I was like, oh, he's probably busy. He was traveling to New York sometime, and he was doing other things. And I was like, he's probably busy. Didn't call him that night.
Damn.
Then wake up the next morning, he was gone. That's why it's kind of like when you got an intuition in you and something inside of you telling you to do something, you better do it. Because
you listen to that now?
I do.
Yeah.
I listen to that now. Because when we be quiet, we hear a voice.
Yeah.
Whose voice is that? You know, we gotta listen to that voice.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
take action on that voice.
You gotta take action on that voice.
Man, that's rough. Cause and then he passed, and then the fact that you could have called him.
Yeah, could have called him.
Damn.
Could have called him. But it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I mean, you learn from it, right?
Yeah, you learn from it. You learn from it.
Did it take you a long time to learn that? Get past that?
To get over him, yeah. To get over his passing, yeah. It took me a little while. I think more than anything, to see my mom grieving was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I think that was the hardest. That was the hardest thing for me.
Seeing your parents cry is, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah,
It's hard to watch.
Yeah, to see that, it was like, oh man, damn. And there's nothing I can do.
Right.
You know. But the joy in me was, if this man don't make it into heaven, nobody will. Because like, he was preaching at 13 years old, and like, this guy was little baby Jesus. Like, sure, he had his closet sins as well, but at this, because we all gonna fall short. But at the same time, like, he's a good dude. So I'm like,
yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right. Yeah. He did it the right way.
Well, since he was preaching at such a young age, do you think you got that stage presence from him?
Oh, damn, you good. Never thought of that.
It seems like a something, because you're seeing him preach in front of people. Right. So
you're right. If he was here, he would say, sure. Well, you're right. My brother did go see me in one of my plays I was in. He traveled down to see that. So I have that in my head, like, nice. Oh man, he was able to see me do my thing.
That's good.
You know. But you're right. I don't know.
I gotta see a picture of your brother, man, because like I'm very, like, my energy is very sensitive.
Yeah. And
so, like, I don't want to say that I can communicate with the spirit world or anything.
Okay.
I get flashes sometimes. And like, I just saw like a flash of somebody over there, and he's like,
that would be funny. I believe in all of that stuff.
Yeah,
you're saying,
and he's wearing a suit too.
Oh wow, that would be him. Let's see if I can find
like a dark
picture.
gray suit. Very close. Very close. I would say he looks a little younger from when I saw him. And which is funny, because like, I actually recently learned that people in the spirit world, they will always, yeah, that's him. That's wild.
That's wild.
They show up in their happiest age that they were. That's interesting, man. That's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What up, though?
That's really cool, man. Well, paying an homage to your brother. Right?
Yeah, man.
What happened after, like, how long were you in Korea for?
A year.
Okay.
A year. A total of 12, maybe 13 months.
Okay.
Yeah, a year. I met my wife while it's weird. My brother passed. I came home for his funeral and what have you, and I met my wife during that time. Well, I had already met her, but she wasn't on my radar. She was on my radar, like, during that time. And we exchanged numbers and what have you. She was in college doing her thing. had her own place. I knew I wanted a woman from my hometown. I wanted to be able to talk about,
Goldsboro stuff.
Yeah, Goldsboro stuff. Hey, baby, you remember, the parade of Mickey's Pastry or blah, blah, blah. And I'm able to, we can resonate with each other, bounce back off each other.
Yeah.
So I met her during that time, and she kind of came into my life at a perfect time. It came into my family's life at a perfect time because she's an educational person like him. My only really regret is they never met on this side of things, because she worked at the store that was 10 steps from my parents' house.
Oh, wow.
So I know my brother went to the store either to get gas or to
Yeah.
get a hot dog, because they hot dogs was the bomb. I know he went to the store, so I know they probably seen each other.
Right.
But never knew that she's gonna marry your brother or that's your brother-in-law. So I really hate they never met, because I know that they would have hit it off. Like, to this date, my wife has a doctorate. My brother was about to go to college to get his doctorate. Like,
oh, interesting.
And they would have hit it off real hard, you know. He would say, "What in the world you doing with my brother?" But my brother had a funny sense of humor, so that would have been funny.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That makes you probably love your wife more. Right? Yeah, because it's got that connection to it.
Yeah, she has the brains. She definitely has the brains. Yeah.
So you met her when?
I met my wife in 1999.
So is that obviously, like, it's like what, after Korea?
Yes. Well, while I was stationed in Korea.
Oh, wow.
While I was stationed in Korea, I met her, got cool with her, was home for like 30 days leave, had to leave.
Gotcha.
Got on the plane, had that lump in my throat. I feel like I'm leaving something behind.
Was that during your brother's funeral?
Yeah, right. I met her when I came home for his funeral.
Huh.
Yeah. And
it's a sign right there, bro.
Yeah, it's like God taketh and God giveth.
Right.
And then we kept in contact with each other, and I ended up getting out of the military, out of the regular military, joining the National Guard, and came home and became a National Guard recruiter for a little while.
What made you go that route?
I knew it wasn't for me.
Okay, so you just wanted to get out of the Army completely, and then
I
still
wanted
be
to
in
get
the
out.
military.
Yeah, because I needed some type of income.
Gotcha.
But I knew it wasn't for me, and it was like, okay, I got to get out of here now. Like, my brother just passed away, my parents are grieving. It was a window for me to get out. It was like, do I want to stay in? No, I'm out of here. I got the girl that I'm chasing, and I got to have her at home.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm out of here. Holla at y'all.
Yeah.
I started listening to that inner voice.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which was a great decision.
I love listening to the inner voice, bro. It's like, it could be life changing. I remember, like, when I was drinking and doing drugs so much in high school, and then, like, one day I just woke up and there was, like, people sleeping all over the place, beer cans everywhere, and I was just like, I don't think I want this anymore. It's like something was just, like, telling me, it's like, it's time to move on.
Yeah, you graduated from it. You feel like, well, this was fun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And if the more you listen to that inner thought, the more healing happens.
100%
as well.
100%.
So you came back. You were still in the military, though, recruiter. How was that process for you?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Just like a normal thing.
I was in the National Guard and doing that whole thing. I realized quickly that the National Guard isn't the regular Army. I came from a hardcore situation to now I got guys who are just look like they never ironed their uniform a day in their life. And I'm coming in looking like a drill sergeant pressed to the T.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, like this is the toy army, like over here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No offense.
No offense. To you. You know who I'm talking to.
I'll clip that out for you. You can send it to him.
Yeah. So it was like, nah, this ain't for me over here either. And then I ended up, after that, after I got out of the National Guard, I ended up.
How long were you in there for?
Maybe 3 years,
Okay.
I think.
3 years is a kind of a long time, but you
Yeah.
you had to settle back in too, right?
I had to settle back in, and people don't realize how hard it is to go from soldier to civilian. It's tough. It's tough.
You were in war? No.
Close.
Close.
I was in Korea when they had a conflict happen, and a fishing boat crossed the DMZ line in North Korea and South Korea, and we pulled out in position and was actually waiting for Bill Clinton to say fire.
Okay.
And it was bad. Like, it was all over the news in the United States and stuff. I called my family and I was like, hey, I don't know when I'm able to call you again. But my dad was like, oh, that's good. I think I seen something on CNN. I'm like, yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
I'm over here in it. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that soldier life, the civilian life, because it's how hard was it for you?
Difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
What kind of things made it hard?
For instance, you pull in the driveway of McDonald's. The line's wrapped around the building. Why the hell the line wrapped around the building? Get. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's go. What are y'all doing? You driving in traffic, right?
Yeah.
Somebody flick you off. Man, I will
chasing them down.
fucking hurt your ass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta turn that. You gotta. Whoa. So my wife was just calm down.
Was she your piece?
Good. Yeah, she's my piece. She's a counselor also.
Oh.
So she's as a doctorate and all that. So she's the brains.
Interesting.
Boy, calm down.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. So you gotta learn to turn all that stuff off. You gotta learn how to. Hey, baby, can you do this right here for me? Okay, I'll do it in a minute.
No, right
In the
now.
military, it means I needed it like yesterday.
Yeah.
So you got to turn all that stuff down.
How long was the that kind of process to transition?
It's still a process, to be honest with you. But as far as going from butthole and not being understanding to being understanding and woosah, maybe like a year or two.
Okay. Yeah, that's especially like because you guys were together when you came back.
Yeah.
So like she had to deal with your shit.
She did deal with my shit. She did deal with my shit. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, I've been from being an OCD neat freak to now, I'll clean it later.
Yeah.
And it's, why you leave this brother? All right now. You remember when? Like,
who's the soldier here?
Like, it's like, hell, I can turn it back on now. Like, I tell all the time, you don't want me to start cleaning because then I'll get on your nerves.
Yeah.
Like,
This corner's not clean.
Yeah.
Clean the baseboards.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh man.
So it wasn't until I had a friend of mine who did Batman Begins. He had an extra role in Batman Begins, right? And he didn't like grow up doing like the acting thing or anything like that, but it inspired me. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, like, he told me, yeah, man, I'm in this scene, blah blah blah. They throw me down on the cop car. His scene was like that long, like you barely could tell who he is, but by him telling me, I knew who it was, and I was like, oh, that's my way in. So I was like, hey, bro, I did theater movies in school. Like, if you find out anything, let me know, as far as how can I even become an extra.
Right.
Because in my head, I have a philosophy that I'm going to end up coining in a book one day. If you put me near the garbage can, I'm going to end up being on your plate and served as gourmet.
Oh, shit.
Just give me a window in. I will find my way.
Yeah.
I don't need no one to teach me how to do it. I don't need no one. I will find my way, and I'm going to be the greatest gourmet piece in that meal that you can ever taste.
I like that.
Right? So I said, okay. So with fast forwarding, maybe.
Was that during your National Guard days?
That's what I was finna say.
Okay.
No, I had already got out of the National Guard. I had moved. 9/11 happened, right? So when 9/11 happened, I was still in the National Guard, but I was living in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I was attached to a unit in North Carolina. I got the phone call. Hey, well, I didn't have to get the phone call. I saw it on the damn every news channel that you can think of.
Yeah.
I was actually taking a test to become a insurance guy in the Baltimore, D.C. area.
Okay.
And after finishing the exam, the examiner said, "Hey, look at this on the news." Other people were taking their test. I walk into this little room. It's the news, and I see the Pentagon. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's up the street. And I see the Twin Towers, and I'm like, oh, hell. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, I'm still attached to the military.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now.
Yeah, Mortimer, the plane, get to the plane.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I call down to North Carolina and what have you, and it's like, yeah, we're on standby. I'm like, okay. I pack up my stuff, pack up my apartment and what have you.
Yeah.
And I haul buggy back to North Carolina. My girlfriend, which is my wife or what have you, she was in the process of moving up to Baltimore, Maryland area as well.
Oh, wow.
So I came back and I was like, you know what? No, let's just stay here, because I had to go report in and all that sort of good stuff, and we end up not getting mobilized to go anywhere at that particular time. So I was like, okay, I'm cool on that end, but I don't think I want to be back up there now, because anything could pop off, because during that time it was a little scary. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I stayed. I ended up getting a job at this place called GTS. They used to do the deliveries for Sears Roebuck.
Yeah. And you were out? You were out of the military at the time? Or you're still in?
I was attached to the National Guard, getting out like right then.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
when I say right then, I mean like I was literally getting out of all military function completely, like within the next month
Oh, wow.
of 9/11 happened.
Damn. Okay.
They ended up letting me go ahead and go and get out, right? But once you get out of the military, you still got 8 years that they could call you back.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why they say Uncle Sam. What's the acronym? Aren't done with me yet. I forget what the acronym is, but they can call you back within 8 years of you getting out of the military.
Damn.
So they knew they already had me anyway. So I ended up getting the job at this place called GTS doing wash and dry refrigerator delivery, and I was doing that, and then they ended up going out of business, and they hired contractors in, and I became a contractor. And became an employer with employees, running a budget, running a business. And the military had already instilled into me all the leadership in the world.
There you go.
So when I received the phone call from my friend that, that, hey, I know of an extra position that's opening. I was a boss at that particular time. I didn't carry myself that way, because the guys that worked with me were like my friends,
right?
Especially one guy in particular. He was like my brother. Yeah. So, I get the phone call. He tells me, "Hey, Tyler Perry needs a gangster for the haves and have-nots." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. I can be gangster now." So I went through and I submitted myself. You know how when you're extra, you just send a picture of you. It was a selfie, right? And I flicked through my phone. And I was like, what am I going to send? What picture am I going to send? What picture am I going to send? It was a picture of me, and I was like this. I was a biker at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm going to send him this. It's the hardest picture I got in my phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the casting director was like, okay, send me another one. Like, Mr. Perry likes this because you're the only one out of all these submissions that had the audacity to do this.
Right.
So
hey,
it's
you want
like,
gangster,
you want gangster. I'm gonna give you goals, bro. I'm gonna give you gangster. So, so I end up submitting another picture, and me and my partner Sean Jones, he's late Sean Jones, he's passed away as well. Me and him together in the truck, we're riding. And I get the phone call like, yeah, can you be in Atlanta tomorrow? Man, I like to wreck the truck. I'm driving, swerving. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm finna go be on the haves and have-nots. Like,
as an extra?
As an extra.
Okay.
Not realize it was gonna be a feature extra.
Oh, sure.
Because you have, you have your extras who are way back yonder who
blurry. Yeah.
They're just scene fillers.
Yeah.
And then you have the feature extra where the mains might actually say something to, and they did to me. So I was featured extra. I met Tyler Perry for the first time, and then I started networking. See, at that moment, I knew that I was by the trash can. I started networking. I started, hey, so you got an agent? How do you get an agent? You got headshots? What? Okay, what do I need to do? Blah blah blah. Started networking.
Start planting those seeds.
Planting those seeds. Met a couple good guys. End up doing immediately the next week. Got booked for Fatal Attraction. Got booked for another show. I can't think of the name.
Just like a bunch of extra work.
A bunch of extra work.
Yeah.
The Alvin and Chipmunks movie.
Nice.
That's when I realized how fake TV is, because it was about 40 degrees outside in Atlanta, but we were looking like we was at a pool party and people swimming in the pool, and it was cold as all get out. And I was like, oh my God, never thought about the elements. People watch television, they don't think about the elements. Yeah. Y'all watching this don't know if it's cold in here, if it's hot in this room. You don't know. We know, but you don't know. That's right. So those are the things that in television you don't think of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for doing those extra roles, for me, that was like school, because I'm a sponge then. I'm learning. I'm looking at camera. I'm looking at lighting. I'm looking at the cameras. I'm looking at everything, and I'm saying to myself, okay. You know, how can I get a role like Dave? You know, or how can I be the voiceover for Alvin? You know,
right.
And I'm like, because I know I can do that one day, and so that gave me that bug, and then from there, I got an agent. Got on acting websites.
So you got an agent, like, without taking any acting classes or anything like that, or
yeah,
you auditioned for to get an agent, or just got on it?
I kind of just got one.
Yeah,
I kind of just got one. My first agency was here in North Carolina. I can't even think of the name of him, but my agent was a guy named Sean Carter. I never forget that.
Yeah.
Because it's Evolution. I was with Evolution.
Oh, Evolution. Okay, gotcha.
I was with Evolution, and had a good agent, you know, and what have you. And then I ran across, but they weren't really.
We got an agent, bro. Like, that's, as a beginner actor, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Yeah. How was it for you? Like, there's like, oh shit, I'm like legit now.
No. Well, for me, it was kind of like, I have a Deion Sanders kind of complex. When I say that is, I'm great. I'm great. I know I'm great. You don't know I'm great, but you're going to figure out that I'm great. Yeah. So therefore, for me, getting an agent is kind of like, of course you're going to sign me. I'm great. You know what I'm saying? I got a little swag and a little confidence.
Yeah.
It's not arrogance. I'm confident.
But you're keeping it to yourself too. So
I'm keeping it to myself. It's not out there. I don't. It's all in here.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of me in there.
Yeah. That's good.
So,
that's a good sign.
Yeah. So it's like, of course you're gonna sign me. So getting the auditions and realizing the dialogue, it was like, okay, boom, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough. Like I said, no training whatsoever.
Right, yeah. What'd you do?
I end up looking up taping places in Raleigh, because at the time I was living in Raleigh, and found Moonlight.
Okay.
And came in and did some auditions with the help of Sean.
Gotcha. Is that when I met you?
Yes.
So I met you in your beginning stages of acting?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So met Sean and built a rapport with Sean and did a lot of auditionings there. So once again, I'm learning, right? I'm learning how he's editing my auditions. I'm learning all that. He tells me he signed to KU because Evolution, my agent had left to go be on a cruise ship or something, because I think he got a theater background, and the person he assigned me to sucked. Gotcha. Sean was telling me about KU. KU was transforming from kids to an adults. And I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. Prayed on the situation and whatnot. Met Terry, and it's like, yeah, I like her.
Yeah,
I like her.
I love her.
Yeah, I like her. My first audition that I felt like, oh, because you know when you're starting out, you do the audition and it's like, I gotta book it. Hell, I'm waiting on my phone to ring. Right, I'm ready for emails right now.
Yeah,
but I gotta book it. No, you don't hear anything. It's like, oh, what did I do? Like, how can I do to be better? You know. But yeah, so that's how that whole thing started.
So damn, that's crazy that I didn't know you just started then.
Yeah,
because I taped you for a few auditions.
You did.
As well.
You did.
I was like, oh damn.
You did.
But you seem it seemed so natural to you when I was taping you.
Correct. Like, wow. Mainly, I had a great drama teacher.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about acting and being from him.
You have that instinct too.
Correct.
And that vulnerability.
Correct.
That helps.
And even though I'm a confident individual, I'm also, even though I'm a leader, I'm also a humongous follower of those who I can see know what they're talking about. I'm able to sit, shut up, and listen.
That's what makes a good leader too.
Correct. Because to be a great leader, you got to be a great follower. So I'm able to sit back and say, okay, boom, I understand.
Yeah.
You know. So when I'm in the position to lead, I can lead from a standpoint of what folks like you, folks like Sean, folks like what would they do in this situation? What would they tell me? Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And then put it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's. I was talking about this on another podcast episode, but you know, one of the things I loved about teaching acting was the fact that I could also teach the business side of acting.
Correct.
And a lot of people don't know that part, or
Correct.
they don't know what to expect. So like for a teacher that's been in the game and stuff like that, to tell them, okay, here's what to do, here's what to expect, it just makes things a lot easier for actors.
It does. And that's why I end up going to Full Sail, getting my digital cinematography degree.
So that's when you went.
Yeah, I went COVID.
Oh, really?
We were stuck in the house, nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to school. You know, no audition is, coming in.
Right.
It's I'm going to go to school. I can get my degree in how long? Okay.
That's a good time to go.
Full Sail, www.fullsail University. Like, okay, let's go. And joined Full Sail. Great experience, great education. Didn't know you went to Full Sail.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You
went during COVID, so I went 2007. I don't know how many years that is. But
yeah. I went during COVID. Graduated after COVID and got which is another year or so, and got my degree.
Were you able to act in the films that you guys did in Full Sail?
Yeah. I did some short films. My friend Stanley Autry. While I was doing Full Sail and doing that whole thing, when the world opened back up after COVID, I was booking jobs too. So I'm going over my lines for BMF, and I'm and at the same time I got my laptop over here because I got this 11:59. I got to turn in this schoolwork for Full Sail all at the same time.
Yeah. So
I was juggling the two, and I was writing a script for my short films for Full Sail at the same time as well.
Nice, dude.
So I was able to act in some of that stuff, but a lot of it I was behind camera.
Yeah, seeing the process,
learning to become a director. Learning to give direction. Being an actor, I think great directors are, even like Tasha Smith is great because she's an actress, so she's able to come to you and speak to you from an actress perspective.
Yeah,
to get you to go there. If you got to be emotional, it's like, hey, how did you feel the day your brother passed away? How did you feel the day that your best friend Sean passed away? What if your dog died tomorrow? How would you feel? Next thing you know, the bubbling happens. Up,
yeah.
And then boom, they yell action and you good. A director just wants it. I need you to be emotional right here. Blah 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 blah. Can you be a little bit more? You know, that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a director, you know, when you have that background, you know how to pour it out of people, and that's the director that I am, like, you know, and what have you.
Yeah, you got to be very empathetic to actors on set because you don't want to cause them to have any tension because then they start getting into their head.
Correct.
And stuff like that.
Correct.
Especially on that first take.
Correct.
And that's why I love directing, especially you know, you get to relate to the actor in a way that moves them and it answers those why questions for them even more clearly. That's great, dude.
Yeah, man.
I love that you did that. You remind me of myself in a way that when you do something, you go all out. And the fact that you went from acting to, okay, let me learn everything about this. So you went to Full Sail and then learning directing, learning all the parts.
And now currently back at Full Sail getting my master's degree.
Nice.
In new media journalism.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Because why? Once again, we was in a strike.
Yeah. You're just going in on the right moments.
Yeah, we were on a strike. And I'm like, man, there's no telling how long it's going to last. I only have a year to get my master's degree. I'm gonna go bang this out real quick.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's online too, right?
It's online. Yeah. So I'm like, why? Because, you know, I want to sit across from Michael Strahan or something one day and be Good Morning America, or, you know, or what have you.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see you doing that.
But still doing my
voice,
television and thank you.
Yeah.
Still doing my television and all that little good stuff. Yeah. I get my voice from my dad. Yeah.
You should do a lot of voiceover work or some.
I would love to do a lot more. Yeah. I would love to do a lot more.
Me too.
I would. Terry, I would love to do a lot more.
Terry, please. With the question.
Yeah, I would love to do a lot more. Because, you know, you got the, you know, think about James Earl Jones when we were kids. This is CNN.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those iconic voices.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I got those like character voices too, the very cartoonish voices,
right?
And stuff like that.
Right.
That's so much fun to do.
It's so much fun to do. Yeah. Me too, because I can go high too. So yeah. Like that would be fun to do that stuff, like the Shrek and all that stuff. Because, what's the name of the Disney? What do they call that?
Shrek, Puss in
so
Boots.
For the P.
Puss in Boots? Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots and no, what's the Pilex, what is it? Hold on, let me look. Let me look. Pixar. Yeah, to have like a, you know, to have a nice
on there.
Yeah, to have a credit on Pixar.
Yeah, I remember I auditioned for this animation. There was going to be a cartoon, and the lady that did the voice for Tommy from Rugrats was going to be on it and stuff like that. And I auditioned, and they loved me, but they didn't have a right spot for me, so they created a whole character just for me.
Sweet.
Damn. But then like the animation just took too long, and it kind of died off.
Same here. I auditioned early in my career. I auditioned for it was going to be a comic book, but it was going to have animation attached to the comic book, right? And they wanted me to be, it was a mob boss, right? That was like some mob boss. And when I had the audition, it was like, yeah, I'll kill you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, this would be cool. Because, you know, when you're in studio, you got your headphones on and you're able to play. Yeah. So I love that. Like, you know, that's another aspect of the business that I didn't realize that I would enjoy, because the only thing I knew was in front of the camera. Right. So when I have booked television and feature films, and I had to go do ADR work, it all comes natural to go in the booth and to boop 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 and then do my lines. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I like for some reason with the voiceovers, I just like the
I'm able to express with. I love expressing with my hands more.
Right.
When I'm doing voiceover work.
Right.
And
right.
It's just, it works out, and that's definitely a thing that you need to be doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So talk to me about this. Talk to me about your first, I guess, I don't want to say big role, but speaking role, like important role, maybe like a principal.
Well, my first principal role was Good Behavior.
Oh.
My first principal role was Good Behavior. It doesn't feel that way because I did Empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I booked Empire, P.D. Pablo, who was from North Carolina, thanks to him, Terrence Howard and Ludacris and all them kind of treated me great.
Oh, really? How's that?
I mean, like, you know, when the extras went and ate lunch, I was over there with them. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the business, that's a huge...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, don't talk to the actors.
Don't talk to the actors.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, no, that's my boy. He's from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
okay.
He helped me a lot as far as to people to be like, yeah, he's cool.
Was it just like a networking thing there? Is that how you got to talk to him?
It was a North Carolina thing, y'all.
Did you go up to him like this?
Yeah, I think it was a North Carolina thing. I think, oddly enough, I had sent him a DM congratulating him because it was just made the news that he was going to be on Empire. I sent him a DM saying, "Hey man, congratulations! I'm an actor as well. I had just left doing If Loving You Is Wrong as an extra, and I had sent him, you know, a DM saying, hey, you know, congratulations, whatnot. So he ended up replying back, hey, appreciate you, keep grinding, like no doubt. So I didn't. So when I got the phone call that I had to keep in mind, you know, Empire was extra as well, but it ended up turning out to be featured. They ended up featuring me.
Yeah.
So I when I found out I was going to do Empire, I didn't hit him up or nothing. He don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go on out. So in the midst of them doing blocking, he was like, and I was like, yeah, dog. He was like, hey, bruh, what's happening? I was like, what's happening?
Damn, he recognized you?
He recognized me.
Damn.
People say I look like Morris Chestnut. So Terrence Howard and the whole nine, and they, you know, they gave me that old Morris Chestnut thing, and I guess to him I have that recognizable face. So so we hit it off, and that is what ushered that whole relationship in. To this day, like, he's my friend right now. Like,
dope, man.
Yeah. So that was that wasn't my first principal role,
right,
but that was my first principal experience. I was standing next to Ludacris, and it was hot outside, and he was sweating. White lady came up with an umbrella and started wiping his forehead. Me and another actor, we looked at each other. We was like, damn, like they do all that. Yeah. Like, he looked at us and he was like, you keep working, somebody else will wipe your forehead, right? So fast forward, my first principal role, Good Behavior. We're out there and it's hot in Wilmington. We shot it in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? So it's hot. And lady comes up and she's wiping my forehead out of the blue. Full circle moment. Like,
yeah.
Wow. I've arrived.
Did you take a selfie?
Yeah, I should have. I should have DM'd him. Hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that was my first principal role. That was my first time having the trailer. Every actor or actress understands the trailer. Yeah. Like, when you first get the trailer, that was really just a cattle, little thing. But it was like, oh wow, like I got my own heat, my own hair, my own air. I can go over here and eat food from the good food over here. You know what I mean? The good food over here, you know. And that was my first real thing, you know.
How'd that feel, bro?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It felt amazing.
Did it validate everything you've been through?
Everything. It was during my wedding anniversary, during that same time. It was remember when we had the eclipse?
Yeah, yeah.
I forget what year it was, but it was that year when we had the eclipse, the solar eclipse.
Gotcha.
And my wife ended up coming up and staying with me at the hotel they put me in. They had us somewhere close to the beach. Nice. So it was real nice. I'm getting paid.
Yeah. Staying at a free hotel.
Staying at a free hotel.
With a girl.
With with my favorite woman. And it's like, oh my God, it's like this is the bomb, and that was that moment of validation that if I continue, now I'm no longer by the trash can. Now I'm in the house.
Yeah.
I'm not gourmet yet, but I'm in the house.
Right.
I'm at least I'm close to the stove.
Right.
you know what I mean? So that was a outstanding moment for me. That changed everything. It gave me that was the moment that I knew that I would never do anything extra again.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's always that switch right there that happens from extra to
that graduation, like we was talking about earlier. We, then I graduated to I will never be non-speaking again.
Yep.
I got a trailer. I got food. I got somebody knocking on my door saying, "Hey,
we're gonna have you ready on set."
Ready on set.
They got the script there for you.
Script there for me laid out. I have a wardrobe. It was that moment, and the director. And here's the thing: I did the audition at Moonlight. Like I said, I own a delivery company, right? So by me owning a delivery company and doing deliveries, the role was a delivery guy.
No, perfect. Yeah.
When I got the audition, when Terry sent me the audition, I looked at it and I said, "Oh, I'm doing this right after I get off work today." I'm like, "You want a delivery guy?"
Yeah.
I'm a delivery guy.
Yeah.
I came in. Sean was like, "Okay, you gonna change?" I was like, "No, he's the delivery guy. I'm ready to go." I came in, I did the audition, booked the role. Fast forward to being on set, the director is doing blocking or what have you. The guy's on the back of the truck and they were finna unload some fish and whatnot. And so he's I could tell that he's struggling as far as how he want to block this whole situation, right?
Yeah.
So I say, "Excuse me, if you don't mind, I would like to help you a little bit." He was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "Yesterday I was on a delivery truck. Today I'm in front of you as an actor. This is what you do. This is what I do. Okay, what would you do?" He would be on the back of the truck. I would be down with my clipboard. I would be marking off what he got to do. Blah 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 blah. He looked at me. He said, "Let's run it. Let's do it your way." Action. Did it. Da 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 da. Moving on.
Nice. You had the courage to say something, huh? I mean, like, most people won't do that. Like, they're just like, "Oh, whatever you want to do," right? That kind of thing.
Because I have the mindset of, for one, I'm proud military. You ain't got no gun to me.
Right.
Staff Sergeant Hammond taught me to be the baddest SOB ever, and he gave me that tough skin. So what you gonna say? Right. You're not gonna tell me to do push-ups. What you gonna say? You can't hurt me.
Yeah.
This man done conditioned me to take whatever. So I had the courage of understanding that if I just do it in a nice way, not an insulting way, if I do it by me saying, yesterday I was on a delivery truck doing deliveries. Today I'm working as an actor on set with you. It
sets the tone.
It sets the tone.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. You can't tell me how to do that job because I do it every day, sir.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can fake it for you if that's what you want.
Right.
But if you want this to look real, I'm gonna show you how it's done. Because this is what I've been doing.
Nice.
For over a decade.
Dope, dude.
Yeah. So
what was the next role after that?
The next role after that.
Did you feel like it was growing with each role? Like,
correct.
As an actor?
Correct. I felt like it was growing with each role. I felt like each role led to me wanting more and me demanding more and me choosing to do things more with my performances, as far as taking risks.
Oh yeah.
And not being afraid to take those risks. You know, as
And
far
you
as
still weren't nervous.
I wasn't
On
nervous,
set?
especially then. Especially being a delivery guy, I definitely wasn't nervous.
Yeah, right.
It was.
Yeah.
I
You're
felt
the
right
king
at
of the
home.
castle right there.
Yeah, I felt right at home. It was like, I'm delivering fish that has cocaine in it.
I remember that audition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, I got this. You know, more than anything, I'm like, man, I'm in Wilmington. I'm ready to get back to my wife. We about to go walk this beach today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, let me go over here and make these coins
Right.
and go hit the beach with my wife.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And it's our anniversary week.
Yeah.
Like, it don't get no better. I didn't have to go pay to go nowhere to go woo my wife. You know, for us to celebrate. They had already provided it for me.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a cool experience. But after Good Behavior, I think the next booking probably was a commercial or something.
Gotcha. So, man, I think this is what you were meant to do, bro.
100%.
This is what you were meant to do.
100%.
Give me like a rundown of like all the things you've been in.
Okay. Fatal Attraction, If Loving You Is Wrong. What's the show that Lieutenant Kenda? That was on the ID channel.
I don't know.
Something on the ID channel.
Yeah.
Good Behavior, The Haves and Have-Nots, Black Mafia Family, Average Joe, as of recent. Average Joe, streaming on BET. What else I've done? Oh my God! So if my wife was here, she could run it down for me.
Right. She said, "I've been keeping track."
Yeah. I've done a couple North Carolina lottery commercials.
Oh, nice.
I've done a commercial here in Raleigh during I think it used to be called Cameron Village. I think now it's called The Village.
Oh, like the shopping center?
The shopping center.
I didn't know they changed the name.
Yeah, I think now it's called The Village. I was there last night at Good Nights Comedy Club.
Oh, no, I'm going tonight, actually.
Okay, I went to go see Ryan Davis last
nice.
night.
Yeah, I'm seeing Mike
dope
Miller.
show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Davis. Yeah,
There you go.
funny as hell. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
You got any exciting news? Anything coming up?
Yeah, I've written my own television series alongside of a great director, Joy T. Lane, who's also from North Carolina. That is going to be exciting.
Nice.
Where I get to not only be the actor but also be the show creator. And
That's always great.
yeah, and I also want to do some mainstream directing within the series as well. And it's fun being a writer because on that aspect, sometimes as an actor, if you're not booking all the jobs that you feel like you should get, because I've booked some cool jobs. Like the coolest job I've ever did was a movie called On the Come Up with Method Man and Sanaa Lathan. But I did the Righteous Gemstones also.
Oh, nice.
But
that's a good one.
But getting back to that, being a writer and the whole nine, you're able to. I'm not going to say play God, but you're able to create these worlds.
Yeah.
And you're able to write down and have these emotions as you're writing. So for me, I think that is cool, and it's going to be even cooler to see these actors play the words that I wrote at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with my headphones on, listening to DJs on TikTok bang out sets. You know what I'm saying? And
you like the writing process?
I do like the writer's process. I fell in love with it while I was at Full Sail University writing my short films, because I was able to write these scripts, and then I had professional actors doing, acting out my roles.
Yeah.
I had Stanley Autry, who is in Black Panther, and did the Batman series.
Yeah.
I have Tiffany L. Burgess, who's going to be in, by the time you all watch this, in The Color Purple, as well as The Wonder Years. I have Yusef Thomas, who plays the younger version of myself in Black Mafia Family. So I have professional actors.
How'd you get those?
Friends, man, networking.
Networking.
I'm gourmet over here. You know what I mean? So I have professional actors acting out, these scenes and these roles, and it able to give me a snapshot of the future. It give me the snapshot of what my television series is going to look like as far as the characters that myself and with the help of Joy T. Lane, some of the writings that she implemented, is able to, and she's directed Power, she's directed Raising Kanan, she's directed, we ain't talking about no small time stuff, we talking about, you know,
gourmet shit
over here, right. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to see that, and that, helped me to fall in love with the writer's process and to create those worlds for television.
That's dope, dude. Now, you're motivational speaking?
Yeah, I've done some motivational speaking. I spoke to a class yesterday in Goldsboro at Wayne Community College.
Yeah.
How'd
you get into that?
Just like this. Hey, man, do you want to come and do this podcast? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
People have heard my story and they've heard me speak about me coming from not knowing what I wanted to do to now following my dream, to now living within my dream, and to becoming gourmet.
Yeah.
So for them, it's kind of like if I'm able to do that, coming from my small hometown, some other person might need to hear that.
Yeah.
Especially
coming from a small town.
Correct. Like I spoke in front of over 500 people at an Illumina before, and I explained to those folks, like, I don't care how old you are, follow your dream, do what you got to do. I tell them, you drive by Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, the Colonel isn't 20 years old.
Yeah,
he's an old man.
Right.
He started selling chicken, ain't no telling how old, but the original recipe was written in his 50s and 60s.
Yeah. So
it's never too late to get your original recipe.
Yeah, there you go. Oh shit, you've been in commercials, haven't you?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that's how the whole motivational speaking thing happened, and it's a high. Like I listen to Eric Thomas and all of these great motivational Brown, with all these motivational speakers, and I say, man, I can do that. Like that's easy,
right?
Because people don't realize that everything they want is within them. They just have to act on it. They just have to go out there and do it.
Is it hard for you? Well, probably not, but. I feel like the hardest part about motivational speaking is possibly the beginning, like starting off.
None of it's hard to me.
Yeah.
You mean as far as getting the gig?
Not getting the gig, but just the actual speaking part of it, the beginning part of it. Like how do you start it off? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Easy. I think more than anything because I resonate with my audience.
Ooh.
I'm them. Mm-hmm. I'm still just the kid from Goldsboro.
Yeah.
I'm still the kid who looks at Samuel L. Jackson and him playing on Jungle Fever and say, I could do that.
Right.
I could do that. My nickname is Boss Hog. I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. Still do. I still go back and watch the old episode.
Yeah. You don't wear the shorts, do you?
No, I don't wear the shorts.
Right.
No, I don't wear the shorts. No.
Bedroom.
I don't wear the hattie. I do wear a Boss Hog's hat. I like country a little bit.
There you go.
But so I used to watch that and mimic that as a kid. So I actually jumped out my mom's car before. As a kid.
Damn.
Because I saw it on the episode.
Yeah.
So anything that I see, Eric Thomas and all these people, I feel like I can do that. That's simple. I can do that. And my story itself is compelling enough to inspire somebody. I'm only here to inspire. Yeah. I'm only here so that somebody watching this tape 50 years from now and I'm 80, 50, 90, I'm 90 years old,
right.
And they say, man, he inspired me. I can do that too. That's what we all here for.
Exactly.
We're all passing time, and what we choose to do with our time is all up to us. We have to create the legacy because we all have a born date and a death date. In between that is our legacy. What we're going to do with that dash is up to us. Ooh. Are we going to waste that dash? Are we going to be the guy that was known for running errands? I got a good friend of mine that taught me that. Are we going to be known? He said, when you die, are they going to be up there saying, hey, he was good for running errands. He was good for...
Get me that coffee.
Yeah, he was good for that. Or are you going to be the guy that actually did something with your life that people can say, man, that was great. I can do it too. That way your legacy is immortal.
Right.
You live on forever. That's why Tupac is the greatest of all time. You know, you can inspire somebody. You can spark the brain that the next person can say, I can do it too.
I love that, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming by, bro.
Already.
Oh, man. That's exciting. I honestly didn't know what to expect, but, dude, I'm blown away.
No doubt.
Keep doing you. Keep growing.
100%.
Keep being that gourmet.
Yeah, got to be.
Keep eating.
And humble while doing it.
That's right.
You keep inspiring voices.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah?
This is dope, man.
I'm glad you liked it, man.
Yeah.